Welcome back. Welcome back to flyingcloudzen.org. It's good to see you. Thank you for visiting the YouTube channel here. My name is Busho Lon, and I want to talk to you today a little bit about using everyday activity as practice, as Zen practice, as spiritual practice, as mindfulness practice, right? Those of us who've done a little bit of reading about Zen, or even a lot of reading about Zen, know that, and Zen Buddhism isn't the only one to do this, but this is one of our kind of specialties, so to speak. The Zen tradition goes pretty far out of its way to encourage its practitioners to include the activities of everyday life into the category that we call meditation, right? A lot of us who know even a little bit about mindfulness, don't know anything about Zen, but know at least something about what we call the mindfulness movement, know that that tradition, like Zen, like a lot of schools of meditation, include, in that tradition, meditation includes simple stuff: eating a raisin, peeling a tangerine, making a sandwich, sweeping the floor, taking a walk, everyday activities seen through the lens of awareness, right? What we end up learning when we start to study ourselves in meditation is about the way we pay attention, right? It's actually not what we're doing, it's how we're paying attention to it. Wow. That's actually kind of a big turning. That's a big revelation. That's a big shift in our practice when we realize the thing that I'm practicing doing on the cushion, right, or in my meditation chair during my formal period of meditation, paying attention, returning to body and breath, non-judgmental awareness, remembering that I am the witness, right? I'm the beholder of the phenomena of my experience, right? I'm the witness to those things. Well, wow, that continues after the bell rings and meditation is over, and I stand up and go about my day, doesn't it? Because that way of paying attention as non-judgmental awareness isn't actually limited to a certain space or a certain time or wearing certain clothes, right? Or being in a certain building or smelling incense or anything, being in a certain posture. You realize, well, hold on a minute, that's just a way of paying attention. And it's infinitely portable. Yes, it is. And what a turn in our practice that is. Because then the invitation is, please don't stop your meditation when your meditation is done. It's kind of a funny way to say it, but when that bell ends and you are done with your formal meditation, don't stop. Don't stop paying attention, right? Don't stop noticing. Don't stop being curious. Don't stop wanting to connect to what you're seeing, smelling, hearing, feeling, the nature of your breath, the content of your thinking. Don't stop paying attention. You can do this. You're doing it now, right? Wow, what an opportunity that is. So in the Zen tradition, in a pretty structured, organized way, we are expected to do work practice, which is basically meditation, but instead of being in a meditation hall, sitting cross-legged on a black cushion facing the wall, now meditation looks like you holding a broom, right, in your paws and sweeping the front stairs. And you over there, if you'd be kind enough, please take a damp rag, and I want you to wipe down the surfaces on the main floor. And somebody else, hey, if you could vacuum the carpet in the reception hall. And you, if you could go into the kitchen and help the cook chop up some bell peppers for this evening's soup. And the invitation is, pay attention to that broom and that dish rag and that knife you're going to hold in your hand exactly the same way that you pay attention to your posture, your body, your breathing, your emotions, your thoughts when you're in the Zendo doing meditation. There's no difference, right? Now your Zazen, now your meditation looks like standing up and holding a carving knife and holding a bell pepper and dicing that pepper. That's what your meditation looks like right now. And your meditation now looks like holding a broom and feeling its weight in your hands and noticing the movements of the arms, the quickening of the breath, and what happens to the stare, right? And the smell and the light and the sound of sweeping is now your meditation. That's what your meditation looks like. Do you sort of see it? All of a sudden, the world of meditation cracks open and you realize, oh, it's everything all of the time. It contains the entirety of human life. There is nothing that can't fall under my mindful gaze. Literally nothing. In fact, we start to discover, a lot of us do, what people have been discovering for thousands of years, which is anything seen on the surface without paying attention, the way we normally do, right? Just kind of autopilot. Anything seen on the surface is mundane. But anything seen deeply, with a whole heart, with a whole mind, with presence, becomes sacred. Anything, right? The same altar can be sacred or mundane depending on whether or not I'm paying attention, right? In the eyes of the beholder. And same with sweeping stairs. That can be a deeply sacred activity or just a mundane activity, depending on the way that I'm paying attention to it, right? There's a key teaching here that is so important. And for meditators of all levels of experience, even if you're brand new, to have this realization is so important, because you realize I don't have to limit what I call my practice to going to a special meditation center at a certain time and waiting for the special person to ring the special bell. And then I start to pay attention in a really special way. And then when it's over, they ring the special bell and I leave the special place and now I'm back to my normal life. I don't have to do any of that. It's a lovely thing to do. What I'm saying is what I don't have to do is compartmentalize the way that I pay attention. You don't have to impose that limit on yourself. And everyday life, the sweeping of the stairs, the chopping of the bell pepper, reveals itself to be sacred or infinite, holy even. When we pay attention to it fully, we realize there's nothing absent ever in a moment. There can't be, right? And so the quality of our attention is what reveals that truth to us. Wow, that's magnificent, right? And the opposite is also true. If anything is showing up in my experience as mundane or even anathema, that's about my attention. That's not about the thing that I'm beholding, right? The invitation there, spiritually speaking, you can feel is profound, right? There is something I still need to see if I'm imagining that that's not an important thing. So Zen Buddhism, like a lot of other contemplative traditions, goes out of its way to kind of blur the line between meditation and not meditation, because there is no such thing. And it goes out of its line by extension to blur the line between what we normally think of as secular, mundane, and what we think of as sacred or holy. It really tries to eliminate that line. And it tries to eliminate that line very intentionally, because of the danger that we can all feel if we're paying attention, that we create when we imagine that a certain thing is holy, special, sacred, and something else isn't holy. Sacred space, not sacred space. Sacred object, not sacred object. Can you see it coming? Special person, not special person. Special activity, not special. Worthy of my attention, worthy of my respect, worthy of my presence, worthy of my intention, worthy of my curiosity, worthy of my investigation, worthy of my connection, worthy of being intimate to, not worthy of being curious, investigated, connected to, or intimate with. Wow. We can see it, right? Now suddenly there are special people and there are not special people. And there are special places and there are not special places. And there's special religions and not special. Country, you get it. You get it. Of course you get it. You can feel it. Wow, that's me. That's me making that distinction. As soon as my meditation practice becomes holy and sweeping the stairs becomes not holy, I'm in trouble. I do this all of the time. All of us do this all of the time. But our meditation practice, regardless of whether you're Zen Buddhist or Christian or just do mindfulness stuff, whatever your deal is, you can feel in you as soon as I start drawing lines, especially lines that separate one thing into special above and one thing into not special below, I'm in big trouble because that's the seeds of division in myself that I will project onto the world. And now I have enemies, don't I? Or if nothing else, I have a place that I can spit because it's a non-special place. And in Zen, we say there is no place to spit. There is no place to spit. And you can feel the invitation there, right? We don't take that too literally, or it makes brushing our teeth a nightmare. But everyday activity as meditation is as simple as you remembering, oh, right, I can pay attention to this. I can pay attention to this, right? I can turn this thing that I am doing into samu. Samu is the Japanese word for work practice, right? So brushing my teeth, all of a sudden I remember, oh, I'm brushing my teeth. And so now I get to pay attention to it. What is the weight of a toothbrush? How do the bristles feel against the teeth? How do the bristles feel against the gums? What is the angle of my arm as I'm doing it? How fast is that activity happening? Where are my feet on the floor? Is my breath high in my chest or is it low? Brushing my teeth can become a deeply sacred activity when I realize it's consciousness, which is what I most truly am, what you most truly are, spirit in, spirit in form. This is consciousness caring for matter, caring for a living being. The living being in this case is this body. I'm caring for it. I'm actually exercising care. I'm going through the physical ritual of caring for the body. That's beautiful. That's compassion in action. It's literally happening right now. And if I pay attention to it, suddenly the doorway to the possibility of me seeing that as sacred opens and I go, oh, I'm brushing my teeth right now. Well, I'm tasting mint and I'm hearing the sound of the shushing and I'm feeling it against my teeth. Oh, and then against my gums. And I can feel my breath change and I can feel as I'm swishing from side to side. You feel it? I'm brushing my teeth. This moment isn't lacking anything. I don't need this to be different. I don't need to rush through this. This doesn't have to be a chore. Why would it be? This is meditation. Here I am. I can allow it to be exactly what it is. I don't need it to be anything different. Just like on the cushion during meditation, right? So all of a sudden, the doorways to practice are infinite because now it's brushing your teeth, and now it's sweeping, and now it's doing the dishes, and now it's preparing a meal, and now it's taking a walk, and now it's taking a shower, and now it's washing my hands, and now it's picking up my car keys, right? We can treat every object as Buddha, right? Christ has no hands in the world now but yours, St. Teresa said. Your hands can become the hands of care, compassion. You can hold car keys like they matter because they do. They're supporting your life. And your life is connected to every other life that has ever been. It's an intrinsic part of the universe. So suddenly, how I hold my car keys, how I wash my hands, the way that I pick up the pen, of course it matters. How could it not matter? It isn't a lesser moment. I don't have to rush through it to get to a more important moment. What would that even be? Do you sort of feel the teaching that's wanting to arise in you? When you realize this life is a gift and it doesn't have important moments and unimportant moments and sacred places and non-sacred places, the whole thing is undivided, right? So that old saw, how you do anything is how you do everything. You start to kind of see some of the wisdom there. Yeah, if I'm careless with my car keys, I've just treated that part of my life as if it doesn't matter. I clearly imagine that the thing I am moving into next is more important. So I've just made a big mistake. I've just created a split. And if I can hardly wait to rush toward you because you're so important and special to me, but you I won't even look at, I've created a split in me, haven't I? About what's important and holy and sacred and what isn't even worthy of my attention. And I am a divided soul. And I will spend my whole life chasing after this and avoiding this. We call this greed and we call this hate. These are two of the three poisons in Buddhism. So the way I treat everyday objects, my relationship with my body, my relationship with everyday activity, samu, can be a great barometer of where our hearts are. When we open up meditation practice to include more than just what happens between the bells, we begin to see whole other dimensions of our ways, of our hearts, of our ways of being in the world, right? So I encourage you, I want to open that door for you. Please start to notice. You don't have to do anything special, just you're already living the life you're living. Just pay attention to it. Pay attention to it. Especially notice the way you treat yourself. The way we hold objects is a big deal, but especially the way you brush your teeth, the way you hold the loofah in the bath, the way you rub the sunscreen on during the summer, the way that you treat yourself, the way you treat your emotions, the way you meet your emotions, the way you treat this body. This is consciousness treating consciousness, right? This is the eternal in contact with the forms of time. This body is in time and it's aging and it will get sick and it will die someday. And so the way you, as consciousness, as the eternal, the way you meet that and the way you treat that is of the utmost important. It's the way you're treating all of creation, literally. And it will for sure be projected into the way you treat animals, natural systems, objects, people, things you purchase, 100%. Please notice the way that you treat yourself. And please, please, please be invited to do that with tenderness. Again, nothing special. Brush your teeth, wash your hands, take your shower, but perhaps treat all of those objects and perhaps treat this body with tenderness as if it was all of it, as if it was eternity, as if it was the whole, because it is. And now the gateways to practice are infinite. We never run out. We never run out. So even how you're treating your body right now as you're listening to me, the posture that you're taking, where your breath is right now, right? How you're holding yourself in this form as you listen matters, right? It all matters. So that's an invitation. That's an invitation, a brief description of Samu, a brief description of work practice, and an invitation to you to remember there are no mundane objects. There are no mundane moments. There isn't really ever everyday activity, or I guess the other way of saying that is there's only everyday activity, right? Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Very same activity, but now I understand that it's an expression of eternity, and there's nothing lacking in chopping wood and carrying water. Wow. Isn't that a wonderful thing? All right. I hope this is helpful to you. If you have questions about any of this stuff, as always, please put something in the comments section or feel free to contact me. I'd love to answer questions or get to know you better. My contact information is on our website, flyingcloudzen.org. It is lovely to see you, and I thank you again for your attention and for your practice. So blessings to you. Bye-bye.